Big pizza, bigger deal. No hurry? Better be hungry.
Your accident was caused by another driver, but you're the one with all the bills and expenses.
Are you kidding me?
No one should pay for another driver's mistake. Insurance companies don't make it easy to get everything you're entitled to, but I do.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us. This is off of exit 190 towards the interstate, but Lewiston Road not looking too congested at the moment. Nice into our Monday. We'll see how long this nice weather can stick around. That full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Riley. In Aiken County, the coroner's office investigating the death of a woman after a hit and run. 91-year-old Josephine Smiley was found early Saturday morning on the side of Storm Branch Road and New Silver Bluff Road. An autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow morning. No word yet on the suspected vehicle in that case. Well, more than 6 months after it closed down, the owner of Stay Social was back in court today fighting their alcohol license being revoked from the Board of Commissioners in Columbia County last year. To have an alcohol license in Columbia County, 50% of the business sales have to be food. Stay Social has 47% of its sales as food, leading to its license being revoked. All new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Our Nick Velan has been following this story and will have the latest. Georgia State Representative Jody Lott says that she won't be seeking re-election. Lott says that she believes in term limits and will finish out her term in December of next year. She represents House District 131 and was first elected in 2015 during a special election. As for future plans, Lott says that she's interested in doing policy work involving first responders and election reform. A Georgia family giving back after experiencing their biggest loss. This is all in honor of two men who died while trying to rescue strangers from a riptide in Florida earlier this year. Bryce Brooks was just 16 years old, and Charles Johnson, a father, died trying to save Brooks. Asia Wilson takes a look at how these families are overcoming their pain by giving back.
I think for us it's been breath by breath.
It's been 3 months since Alfred and Crystal Brooks lost their 16-year-old son, Bryce.
There are moments where it still doesn't seem real.
The Maynard Jackson High School junior was on a spring break trip with family friends in Florida when he died trying to save younger kids he didn't know. Brendan Johnson lost his dad, Charles Chuck Johnson, in that moment.
And my dad went out there to try to save him, and he also got caught another time, and they both tragically passed away. And I feel like both of them going out that way definitely fit them.
It's the reason why the family awarded 6 high school graduates with the Bryce Brooks Hero Scholarship. It's a part of their new foundation dedicated to fostering water safety and drowning prevention.
For us to lose our son to a drowning, a heroic drowning, in an attempt to save other lives, it just recentered us on the work that we'd always been doing, which is to improve water safety and especially impact water safety in our community, the Black community, where up to 80% of Black folks do not know how to swim.
Johnson was one recipient.
I feel very honored to be receiving a scholarship, especially because Bryce's name is on it. He meant a lot to us.
Bryce received a scholarship too. This family says they're now using their pain as their purpose to save more lives.
That we won't get to see Bryce get a scholarship. We won't get to see Bryce walk across the graduation stage. So for us to be able to give a piece of Bryce's legacy to so many other graduates is more the evidence of how enormous our son is.
And you can learn more about Bryce Brooks and what his family aims to do with this foundation at thebrycebrooksfoundation.org. Well, those who live in Crosland Park have a chance to hear from Aiken City Council candidates. It's taking place July 22nd at 10 a.m. at the Community Resource Center. Candidates from Districts 1 and 8 will be there to answer your questions. You can submit them in advance by heading to the website here on your screen. Questions must be sent in by Thursday, July 20th by 6 p.m. We are taking a live look at the Death Valley Coliseum courtesy of Clemson University there. We're starting today. The popular social media app TikTok is banned on campus networks. This announcement was made last week saying that TikTok will no longer be accessible through the college's Wi-Fi networks or other sources. The college says that this is to keep the integrity of information and resources connected to the Clemson network. Anybody can still access the app through private networks. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden will be in Augusta next week. This is to discuss ways the local community is working together to expand pathways to good-paying jobs. She and local officials will meet at the American Workforce Hub next Tuesday, the 18th. Riley?
Well, after a lot of clouds and wet weather to start off the day, we're finally seeing some sunshine this afternoon. We'll see how long we can hold on to this dry weather coming up in that full forecast.
State Social may be closed, but they're still looking to fight to get their alcohol license back. Find out what happened today at the Columbia County Superior Court, all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Time. An outpouring of love and support after a Richmond County deputy is shot in downtown Augusta. At around 11:30 Saturday, deputies responded to calls of a homeless man with a gun. That man has now been identified as 36-year-old Wrdw Sejour. Now, deputies exchanged fire with him on Ellis Street, where Sejour was shot and killed, and Deputy Kenneth Mercer is still in the hospital this evening. This shooting gathering statewide attention, with Georgia Governor Brian Kemp commenting on Twitter over the weekend. He said he and his family are praying for Deputy Mercer and are asking God to keep him stable on the road to recovery. Now, live at 5, our Craig Allison is at 12th and Ellis Street. Craig, walk us through what we know so far.
That's right, Will. Commissioners and others are looking.
Well, commissioners, we're having some problems with his mics there, but he was saying that commissioners and others are saying they need more people to come to the table to get a solution moving here. While one bad apple shouldn't define an entire group, some are looking towards stricter monitoring of the homeless community. Bethany Trapp, who serves as the program coordinator at the Marion Barnes, says that the homeless community is still a part of Augusta, but is scared for them right now with the representation from this past weekend's shooting. Other commissioners say while this is true, there's an imbalance of not enough deputies on staff, combined with a homeless population that's becoming more visible since COVID. We caught up with District 7 Commissioner Sean Franham, who says that Augusta, they need your help to help solve this, and there's a town hall tomorrow night where you can help weigh in on what to do.
I think it's an education piece, because I think right now people just think, Augusta's so much crime and just going downhill. Well, that's not the case. I mean, these instances happen, unfortunate instances, but if you truly love this community and want to see it better, then get engaged on the task force.
And coming up tonight, all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll dive deep into what solutions are on the table as the Homelessness Task Force works to solve a quickly rising homelessness problem right here in Augusta. Well, shifting gears now, more rain is in the forecast for parts of the Northeast after a whole summer's worth of rain dropped in just a few hours in the region, wiping out roads in New York's Hudson Valley and beyond. Officials said a 35-year-old woman was killed after she was swept away by those floodwaters. Vanessa Murdoch reports from Stony Point, New York.
The slow-moving, relentless storm reached northern New England after dumping excessive rainfall in parts of New York and Connecticut. Floodwaters turned roads into rivers in Orange County, New York, Sunday, when more than 8 inches of rain fell in just a few hours.
We are in the midst of an extraordinary weather event.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul toured storm damage in the region and declared states of emergency in Orange and Ontario counties.
Flooding is part of life now here in the state of New York.
In the town of Yorktown, numerous secondary roads remain closed and bridges like this one are compromised. The force of the water was so great that it pushed the blacktop into a pile and it had to be moved to the side of the road.
It's going to be at least, I'm going to say 24 to 48 hours before everything is at least passable.
In Connecticut, much of the same. Roads and bridges buckled under the weight of water.
The bridge on our property, it's basically floating on the water right now. If it comes up
I don't know, 3 or 4 more inches, the bridge will be gone.
In Pennsylvania, this video shows a car washing away in floodwaters. Officials say the storm has already caused tens of millions of dollars in damage and canceled hundreds of flights at New York and Boston airports. Vanessa Murdoch, CBS News, Stony Point, New York.
And in the West, record heat continues to be the issue there. Nearly 100 million Americans there will have to deal with temperatures above 100 degrees by the end of the week, with Arizona, Nevada, and the Central Valley of California feeling the hottest. And Riley, we've been hot over the last few weeks. We even saw a lot of rain today as well.
Absolutely. Well, we actually had a few pictures submitted. Too bad out there. Here's a full look at that 7-day forecast. Once again, mostly dry conditions through Wednesday, and then just looking like July as we close out the week.
Thanks, Riley. Another week, another Twitter clone, this time from Meta and Instagram. When Live at 5 returns, we take a look at the Threads app, what it does, and if it's worth checking out.
First,
Give us a call. All night.
Well, Twitter has more competition this week. In just 3 days, the Threads app was downloaded more than 55 million times. It's currently the top app for iPhone and Android devices. Before you install it, there's some things that you should know, though. Our consumer tech reporter, Jamie Tucker, takes a look at the app.
Now, the Threads app is similar to Twitter. It's a micro-blogging social media platform where you can post up to 500 words. Everyone's talking about it, but before you download it, for FOMO, or fear of missing out, there are a few things you should know.
to install Threads, you must have an Instagram account, which is tied to your Threads app. Your handle or username is the same as Instagram. And if you find out you don't like Threads, you cannot delete it without deleting your Instagram account. You'll be prompted to add followers from Instagram, and you can search for others. Unlike Twitter, there's no feed for your followers. Meta's algorithm will mix those in with thread accounts it thinks you're interested in. That makes it very noisy and crowded with accounts you're not following. You can block or mute accounts that you don't want to see. There are no hashtags. You can use them, but you can't search for hashtags if you want to follow a discussion. There are also no trending topics in Threads, and you cannot make lists of people you follow like you can on Twitter. And finally, privacy. Like all social media platforms, Threads tracks you. In its privacy policy, Threads says it collects data linked to your identity, including your health and fitness, financial information, contact information, purchases, location, search history, sensitive info, and other data. That can be just about anything or everything. By the way, Facebook and Instagram collect that information too.
No chance that privacy policy will ever change, but Meta says it will be adding features, possibly some of those features it's missing that we've come to love from Twitter. I'm JB Tucker, and Threads is the app of the day.
Now, Twitter is threatening to sue Meta, claiming it hired former Twitter employees to steal its trade secrets to build that Threads app. So stay tuned with that. Some Augusta organizations and groups have jumped on the app already. We found Visit Augusta, ANWA, Augusta Entertainment Complex, and the Masters, which made its first post on the app 3 days ago. And Visit Columbia County, Georgia is also on that Threads app. Well, the first day of the MLB draft is over, and pitchers are the most sought-after prospects in the first round. All 30 teams trying to build some depth in their bullpens, while hundreds sit by to watch their names called. Local Greenbrier grads didn't have to watch the clock for too long. Alyssa.
The name Chase Dollander has to sound familiar at this point. He was a right-hand pitcher for Greenbrier. Then he went off to Georgia Southern, got a start against Tennessee. Then he ended up there, and now he's adding another jersey to his closet.
With the 9th pick in the 2023 MLB Draft, the Colorado Rockies select Chase Dollander, a right-handed pitcher from the University of Tennessee.
Dollander is headed to Colorado. He is the highest pick to go in the first round from the CSRA. The last to even come close was Tyler Colvin out of North Augusta in 2006. He went 13th then. He is also the 4th highest bull in history to go in the draft. The Greenbrier graduate was named the 2022 SEC Pitcher of the Year. With the 24th pick, the Braves selected Hurston Waldrep, a right-hand pitcher out of Florida. Not a shocker. Braves bullpen is one of the strongest in the MLB, plus the Braves fast-track pitchers through their farm system, like Spencer Strider and Bryce Elder. Coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll hear from Waldrep.
All right, thanks for that, Alyssa. Remember, over the next couple of days, looking a little bit drier across the region. Temperatures warming up as we get into our Thursday and to the weekend. Full look at that 7-day forecast next.
I'm Chip Lewis with Augusta Medicare Specialist. Surprisingly, there is no Medicare orientation. Let us guide you through the entire process. For a commitment-free consultation, please give us a call or visit our website. Don't wait till you're 65 to call. RU64.com.
Create.
Hey, Brett, I think we need a jingle.
What do you have in mind? I don't know yet. Well, if you're taking something, come knock on my door.
Come and knock on my door.
If you're 64.